Everyone, welcome to a new video. So March Mystery Madness is right around the corner, and I wanted to get a little video up of a few book suggestions for you and to go over some of my own plans for this fun readathon. If you're unfamiliar, March Mystery Madness is a month-long reading event dedicated to reading mysteries, and this was created by Troy Towell and Lizzie Faye Loves Books. A little more than 10 years ago. There is a delightful crew of co-hosts, which I'll leave links to all their channels down below for you to check out. I'm really excited for this year's theme, which is mysteries around the world. There's 3 prompts. Prompt 1 is read a mystery set in a different continent than where you live. The second prompt is read a mystery from an author who is from a different country than where you live. And the third prompt is read a mystery that's been translated. So my book suggestions really focus on books that celebrate travel, as well as mysteries that don't focus so heavily on violence or gore. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, I hope you'll stick around. The first one I wanted to share with you is called The Last Painting of Sarah DeVos by Dominic Smith. This is a really gripping historical mystery that is more character focused than your classic whodunit murder mystery. There's a fun cat and mouse plot line. It involves a missing Dutch Golden Age painting painted by the fictional Sarah DeVos, as well as the artist who forged her painting. And Dominic Smith was inspired by real female Dutch artists of the Golden Era and based Sarah DeVos on the likes of Maria Sibylla Merian and Judith Leister. The dialogue is clever and there's really fun banter between the characters, and it takes part in Sydney, and you get to travel to 17th century Amsterdam as well as 1950s New York. Also a great one to pick up for Women's History Month, as you'll really want to delve into the amazing female artists who defied the social restraints and limitations of their time, and I really enjoyed this one. I have another mystery this time it's set in a fictional island in Micronesia, and that's The Island of Sequined Love Nun by Roger Moore. This is a bonkers mystery that's over the top ridiculous at times, but never fails to make me laugh. You meet a whole cast of eccentric characters, which includes a disgraced pilot who gets hired by a dubious doctor and his missionary medical team. Well, no, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a really inventive story and one of the funniest mysteries I've ever read. For the continent of Asia, I have a novella called Wounded Little Gods by Eliza Victoria. This is a suspenseful mystery that blends different genres together, and we follow a young Filipina journalist who finds herself trying to solve the disappearance of her work colleague. There's a cryptic map that leads our heroine back to her childhood province, where the locals have very strong superstitious beliefs about the island and unexplainable events from the past. This is a really spooky and atmospheric story that is really fast-paced and blends Filipino folklore and juxtaposes that with technology and science. For the continent of Africa, I suggest Sankofa by Chibundu Onuzo. This one is a suspenseful literary mystery about Anna, who is a British woman of Nigerian heritage who, after the death of her mother, discovers her very absent father's mysterious diaries. And she embarks on a journey back to Lagos to uncover the truth about his past and his identity. This is another character-driven story that's really interesting and gripping about so many important themes such as gender, race, society, privilege. So this is the one I recommend for Africa. And then for South America, I have Where There's Love, There's Hate by Adolfo Cesares and Silvina Ocampo. They were a married writing team from Argentina, which is where this novella takes place. You follow Dr. Huberto Humberman, who appoints himself as the head detective when a book translator and linguist turns up dead in the coastal resort he's staying at. This story is a satirical look on the golden age mystery genre, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I really appreciate. And then for the continent of Europe, really fun favorite is the Hamish Macbeth series by M.C. Beaton. This is perhaps my all-time favorite cozy mystery series by her. They all center upon an unambitious Scottish police officer, Hamish Macbeth, and all the quirky and petty villagers in the Scottish Highlands, which was where these all take place. And I love them because not all of the storylines revolve around a murder, and there's always plenty of humor, and connection is the grace that always saves the day. Another delightful mystery set in Dublin is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. And this involves a lost manuscript and a hidden bookshop that magically suddenly appears when people need it the most. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one when I read it. And then for North America, I have When We Were Birds by Ayanna Lloyd Banwo. This is set in Trinidad, and you follow two plot lines. One of a Rastafarian man who gets work as an overlooker in a graveyard, and then you follow a Trinidadian woman who comes from a long line of powerful women who commune with the dead. They look after new and old souls in order to maintain the fine balance between our world and the afterlife. And it weaves the supernatural with history, suspense, and love, and this is one of my all-time favorite mysteries ever. Another one that would work for North America is Murder at the Palace by Margaret Dumas. This is such a fun, cozy paranormal mystery that I don't think is very well known, and which is a shame because they're really good. They are set in a rundown historic movie theater that showcases films from the golden era. If you're into cinema, this mystery is for you. There's a lot of, film trivia throughout, and the protagonist Nora writes a cinematic film blog. This is another series that doesn't take itself too seriously that I really enjoyed. And then I have one translated mystery that I want to suggest, and that's The Wandering, Choose Your Own Red Shoes Adventure by Intan Paramedita, and this was translated from the Indonesian by Stephen J. Epstein. This is another novel that really celebrates travel, and I think makes a perfect read for March Mystery Madness. It's a literal mystery in that It's an intelligent adult take on the classic choose your own adventure books from childhood, and it's set in Jakarta. It's all written in the second person, which is fun, and you have to imagine yourself, you know, you're a workaholic. The hustle and bustle of life has just gotten you really down, and when you wish for an escape, Mephistopheles shows up in your apartment offering you a pair of red shoes and the promise that they will take you wherever you want, on one condition: you will never return home. So it asks the question, what would you do? And this is such an engaging read. And yeah, if you've read this one, let me know how your ending turned out. My storyline ended up being like a love story, which means that I had to retrace my steps and go back and see what would have happened if I had made different decisions. So that's a little food for thought. So those are some of my global suggestions for March Mystery Madness. I do hope it gave you some ideas if you're stuck on what to read. Before I let you go, I did want to do something fun that I thought you might enjoy. I really love those random spinner generators, and there's one that randomly generates a country. So I thought we could do that and plan to do this throughout the month of March. Just randomly generate a country, and then based on what country is generated, read from an author who's from there, if they've written a mystery, and or find a mystery set there. So let's take a look and see which country pops up. Okay, so this is the generator, and I'm just gonna... Vietnam. Oh, right, that'll be fun. So if you... I'm trying to see if I can think of one. There's one by Bury Your House Around My Bones. I think that might be set in Vietnam. I can't remember the author's name, but I could be wrong. It might not be set there. If you can think of a good mystery that written by a Vietnamese author or that is set in Vietnam, let's chat below. If you're participating in March Mystery Madness, I'd love to know what you plan on reading, and I hope you all are doing well. Take good care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.